So there are some people that remember when my garden looked like 5 years ago. And it was on a slope, and it was just, I couldn't grow much, the water would run off. So I built these retaining walls, capped them off with concrete. That didn't turn out so well, but this turned out really well. Look at that. And I can grow strawberries, oregano. There's some crimson clover right there. I do wild gardening. These are all edible flowers. These are carrots that I forgot to bring in. This part of the wall is temporary, but that's where my asparagus patch is. And I can grow everything in here. This year I grew peas and radishes in here, right? Up here in this wall that I built last minute. I mean, look at my soil. My soil is sand, mostly rocks. But this spring it rained for 4 days straight. And the next day, before 24 hours, it was dry. It looked like this. But I can grow kale. I'm growing some tomatoes in the shade. I just threw these in last minute last year. I got some tomatoes in the sun over here. This unfortunately didn't get planted this year. Here's my oregano bush. I grew some potatoes over here and over here. And I'm gonna leave those potatoes for next year so they pop up. These I'm gonna have to harvest. There was a trellis, but my dog breaks in through the fence. I'll show you that in a second. But right now, these are just random tomatoes that grew from last year, and they're good. This is Maldives melon. It's almost ready. This is good stuff. And this is my cornfields. This right here, see the corns. This is purple corn, maíz morado, Maculi corn out of Guatemala. It's got the highest known antioxidants of all the corn species. And this is how the Hopi grow it. They grow about 7 to 12 in a cluster. And they do this in the desert at like 6,000 to 8,000 feet of elevation. So as an experiment, I had some leftover corn. And it seems to be working out. There's another Maldives melon that's almost ready. In here, if my dog didn't break in and knock over half the corn, is my Three Sisters method that I adapt to planting to rows. See, Three Sisters is in a circular plot. A circular plot. And they'll have corn, like 5 corns, and a number of beans, and then squash outside of that. And I grew it in rows, just for simplicity. So I go corn, bean, corn, bean, corn, bean, and I double the row so you can access each row from either side. And it seems to be working, because if you look, well, this is on the ground, but you see the beans climbing up. I actually do have beans climbing on the corn. And I got hit with rust this year. I spent a lot of time weeding. Springtime messed with my productivity. It stunted the growth of almost all the squash except for this. This is one plant, soon to be was one plant. But I picked 2 squash. I picked one this size already. I picked one bigger than that today. And then furthermore, I've got this big guy. It's just, it's awesome. I mean, I've got some more corn up here. I'm growing beans. Who knows what I get. It's all practice. I'm not trying to feed myself, but maybe I turn 1 packet of seeds into 1 packet of 20 seeds into, say, 50, 60, 100 seeds. Maybe I get lucky and turn it into a few thousand, because the grand solar minimum is coming up short. These are runner beans. These are huge. Grand solar minimum is coming up soon. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Grand solar minimum. The United States is not harvesting crops. So